I think it's challenging in any work environment when you are, say, the only woman out of a group of 15 or 20 people. But the challenge is to learn to work with other people in a social atmosphere, to gain the skills that you need, to show that this is my chosen profession, I'm serious about it, I'm going to do a good job. But I think in any social situation, whether it's an office or a construction site, you're going to have some of those pressures. I mean, a lot of different personalities thrown together. I do think in construction, when you're relegated to like a lunchroom and you have to, basically you have to take your breaks and sit there with your crew members, and the challenge there is if there is someone there who really does not like you and wants to insult you and get into an argument with you, I think there's a point where, you know, I always had a line that I would never let someone else cross, and I wouldn't back down, and I would, you know, either confront them or if I felt I was being harassed or insulted, I would have to take it to a foreman or to a supervisor. But I think the challenge is communication. You know, there has to be a level, you know, I had to work at communicating with people. I had to work at getting the skills. If I was paired up with someone who wasn't teaching me, I demanded it. You know, I would call my apprenticeship coordinator and want to get transferred. Because I don't think at that point in time, or even today, you can be passive and expect it to be given to you. And the same with men, minority or white men, you have to demand to be trained, and otherwise you can get taken advantage of. And so that I think is always a challenge. It's always a challenge if you come in. I know in the early years I was sometimes afraid to open my lunchbox because I didn't know what was going to be in there. You know, there would be pornography in there, sometimes there would be huge pieces of bologna, hot dogs. I had people put nails in my boots. You know, but you know, I know that there were other women who had it much worse than I, you know, that there were some very hateful men who tried to run them out of the trade. One of my friends, who later became a business partner when I opened a business, she was on a crew where no one would even speak to her. And no one else would acknowledge her, would not say hi. Her foreman would basically tell her what she was to do for the day, but it was sort of like you're an invisible, ostracized person. And that's hard to get up every day and go to a job. And as an apprentice, you couldn't quit a job. You could be kicked out of the apprenticeship for that. And I know at that point, too, when there were women and minorities starting in the trade, there was a huge job in Bremerton, the Trident submarine base, the Bangor base. And the joke was, well, the women and minorities got sent over there, or if you were a bad apprentice, you got sent over there, you know, having to get up at 4 in the morning and get on the ferry and go over there. So I think some of that was going on as well.